y'all, and welcome back. Today's build is a street of colorful European villas or townhouses, and this build was very much inspired by some buildings I came across in Pinterest photos, so I'll throw some of those up on screen just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about, what my inspiration looked like, and all that good stuff. I'll talk a little bit about what I know about this style of build, but to be honest, I am not an expert on architecture, so please forgive me if I get anything wrong. I'm from Canada, and as far as I know, we don't have any kind of buildings like this, but from what I can tell, this style of building is found here and there in certain places in Europe. Like, there are really colorful villas in the island of Burano, Italy. And then from there, once I discovered those, I sort of fell down a rabbit hole and discovered that there's all these really beautiful, brightly colored townhouses in certain places in France, certain places in Poland, even in Istanbul. I chose to build in the world of Brychester today, more specifically on this cute little lot called Honeydew Fields that's sort of right in the middle of everything. And I find this is a very popular lot to build townhouses on. Let me know if you've noticed this too, but I feel like if you search Sims 4 townhouse speed build, 9 out of 10 of the videos will be here on this lot. What can I say? It's a great lot. Anyway, as you can see, at this point I've got the general shape figured out. I've made 7 townhouses, most of which are 3 stories, but a couple of them are 2 stories with a little walkway underneath. Some are 3 tiles wide, some are only 2 tiles wide, and it was a bit of a challenge furnishing such skinny homes, but I think I made it work. As far as color scheme goes, you can probably tell I went for some really bright colors, anything that looked good together, and then to sort of add a bit of cohesion and maybe tone it down a little bit, I wanted all of the accents, the windows, the doors, the railings, etc. to be white, just to give your eyes a little bit of a break. Aside from the color though, the windows and doors are all different. I wanted it to be cohesive, but not too cohesive, if that makes sense. I felt that some of the charm of these homes that I was looking at on Pinterest was how different they each were. Where I grew up, all of the houses were really similar, kind of cookie cutter suburban houses, all copy pastes of each other. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in person, so hopefully I did it some justice. Please let me know in the comments what I got right, what I got wrong, especially if you have seen these kinds of beautiful buildings in person. I'd be really interested to hear about that. In just a sec, I'm going to begin furnishing the far right villa, the bright pink one. This house only has 2 stories, which you can access via the brick staircase in the front. And I just thought it would be a cute little addition, add a little bit of visual interest to not make the entire building bright pink, but to add a little bit of a brick accent on the bottom there. And I think it turned out quite nice. As far as the interior goes, this first floor is a kitchen and living space. I combined 2 sofas from the Seasons pack to make a sort of sectional under the staircase there. And as far as cabinets go, I found these builds were a little too small to add cabinets to, if that makes sense. Like, I found it just felt too squishy if I added cabinets to the walls, so I tried to find alternate ways to decorate. I decided instead to use some open shelving from Laundry Day that just made the place feel a little less closed off. As far as curtains go, I used my favorite base game curtains in that white swatch. Thank God for that swatch update we got, because these curtains are an absolute go-to for me now. And then I go with a dark brick wallpaper that I was initially thinking would just be a backsplash, but I really fall in love with it and decide to just use it all over. Upstairs we have the bedroom space and a small bathroom as well. I use these same base game curtains that I love, and I tuck this little bed sort of right into the corner. I actually do switch the swatch. There we go. I pull out this beautiful eco lifestyle bed that I think is so cute. It's one of my favorites, an absolute staple. And then I begin working on this 3-tile bathroom. This is a lifesaver in small builds. You put the university shower in the center tile and your Sims can walk right through it. It's perfectly functional. Returning to the bedroom area, I wanted to add as much storage as possible around here, given that they live in such a tiny, cramped place, but I added some canvases on a little side table at the end of the bed, and over the headboard I add some modular shelving from Dream Home Decorator, including some places for your sim to hang their clothes. In a second, I will move on to the second townhome, the yellow one. This villa is also only 2 stories, and the front door is accessible via those same brick stairs. The front door leads you right into the kitchen, and then you also have a bathroom and 1 bedroom on the same level. The kitchen cabinets are from Parenthood, which is appropriate because when I was decorating this, I definitely had a family in mind. There are 2 bedrooms in this villa, one with a single bed and one with a double bed. So you could easily have 3 Sims in here, and you could even replace the single bed with a bunk bed or something and have 4 Sims living here. I decorated this first room for a child or a teen, and I tried to keep it neutral enough that really any Sim could enjoy living here. I included this beautiful hardwood in a herringbone kind of pattern, and then as far as color scheme goes, it was very much blue and yellow, and I kind of continue that color scheme throughout the house. I throw up some of my favorite clutter items, that cute little animal calendar and those cheap posters, before moving on into the bathroom. This is the only bathroom in the house, so all your Sims will have to share it, but it has everything you need. I thought it was a cute little touch to add 3 bathrobes. One of them is smaller because I definitely imagined, 2 parents, 1 kid. Just thought that was a cute little touch. And then I pop back into the kitchen to add some last little touches, some little bits of clutter, as well as a neutral backsplash. And everything in this kitchen is functional except for the microwave. I just added that as a little bit of clutter. It was never really meant to be functional, but you could always move that around if you download this build. Upstairs we have a little living area. I thought it would be a fun little realistic touch to put the TV on top of a dresser rather than a TV stand, just because of how little storage there is in this place. You'd probably want to make the most of it. And then I throw up some pictures and that family board from Parenthood, just to add to the family vibes in this home. And then this is the parents' room. It's very yellow. I really wanted to add a computer for gameplay purposes, so I chose a desk that was only 1 tile wide to save on space. I believe that the 1 tile desks come from Parenthood and Tiny Living, and they are absolutely a lifesaver in tiny spaces. I also use these plants that are hung up on the wall because it adds a little bit of decoration without taking up any space. I use these teeny tiny side tables from Dream Home Decorator and this very small dresser from Tiny Living as well. All really great items in small spaces. The next villa has a tiny little porch in front that I built using a platform. I just wanted to add a bit of visual interest to the front of the build. I wanted the doors to be not all at the same level, and I thought it added a bit of visual interest, but it did mean that the front door was on a platform, so I had to build a landing right as you enter the villa and some stairs going down to the kitchen, as well as stairs heading up to the 2nd floor. And I didn't want it to feel like wasted space, so I did throw a coat rack there, a mirror for your Sims to check their appearance before they leave the house, and some small bits of clutter. I think I put some shoes and little bits and pieces there, just so it doesn't feel like wasted space. And then I used these beautiful counters from Country Kitchen Kit in a green swatch in the kitchen here. And again, I didn't want to add cabinets in such a small space, so I chose this beautiful shelf instead. I believe it came from Cottage Living. I do come back later to add a backsplash, but I forgot to record it, so that's my bad. I apologize. But in a second here, we'll be heading upstairs to the 2nd floor, where I decided to add a little living space. I chose this cute green couch from Seasons and that small fireplace from Eco Lifestyle. When playtesting this area, I discovered that the fireplace is not functional unless you move it to the back wall, but I decided to actually keep it where it is just because I guess I chose beauty over function. I just thought it looked so cute there. But it's a really easy fix. Just throw it on the back wall and it should be good. But if you do want to download this build and play in it, I'll make sure to leave my gallery ID in the description down below. And you can use this build however you like. There's 7 townhouses, so you could have 7 different small households. You could have a couple households. You could only use one of these villas and delete the rest. And I will recommend, if your computer is older or slow like mine is, I would recommend locking the doors to the villas you're not using and deleting the furniture within them. Everything functioned just fine when I was playtesting this, but I will say it was rather slow, I think because my computer was trying to load hundreds of items. So if you do find that your computer is running a little slowly and your game is lagging quite a bit, just delete the items that you're not using and it should work out totally fine. But I have already begun decorating this 4th villa, I believe. I may have lost count, but I believe this is the 4th villa, and it's slightly different than the others color scheme wise. I'd say it's a lot darker. I used this beautiful stone from Discover University, and I used this darker hardwood from Cats and Dogs. This 2nd floor will be the bedroom space. It will have a single bed, a tiny desk, and a wardrobe. And then upstairs will be the kitchen. It's a bit of a different layout, but again, I just wanted each of these spaces to be different, so in real life it'd probably be very tedious climbing all the way to the 3rd floor to put away your groceries, but you don't have to do that in The Sims, so I figured I could get away with this. I also add a bit of extra clutter, a basket full of blankets, a few mirrors, and a rug. And then upstairs, I now begin working on the kitchen. I begin with the Parenthood counters, but I pretty quickly switch them out for the Country Kitchen Kit counters to match the sink and fridge, which are also from that kit in the darkest swatch. And instead of a full-size fridge, I just throw in a tiny fridge with a little coffee maker on top. It's just like an extra little bit of space and storage that I think is really cute, and it gives this kitchen a bit of personality. And then moving on to the 5th villa, I believe. I was initially thinking that the color scheme of this villa would very much be red and be very intense, but I do kind of change my mind halfway through and decide to go with a very muted blue color scheme instead. And it takes me a while to get there, so bear with me, but in the end this is actually probably my favorite villa out of all of them. So I think it comes together quite nicely, if I do say so myself. I pair some simple counters from Cottage Living with these blue appliances from Country Kitchen Kit. You may see I also add some laundry, but I do end up deleting that. Instead, I add some outdoor laundry pieces in the back so that everyone can share laundry. Moving on upstairs, you may see some existing furniture. The truth is, I tried to decorate this section once before and it didn't work out. So this was my 2nd attempt at it and it went much better. I went with a loft bed with a small desk underneath and a sitting area nearby so that this upper level could be bedroom, office, living area, and washroom all at once. To save on space, I sneak a tiny little clothes rack underneath the bed and add some clutter there, including a bookcase, so your Sim should have everything they need. I also add these modular sofa pieces right next to the bed for a little sitting area. And then just for a little bit of extra decoration, I use these base game towels as little pillows. I saw Sim Lissy do this once before, I think. I'm not trying to take credit for this, but it is a great trick. I also put a tiny little stuffed animal there. I believe that came with kids' room stuff, and I just think it looks so gorgeous. The sofa was a little plain, but then I added that pink and purpley vibe and that cute little stuffed animal, and I just absolutely love this villa. If I could live in any of these villas, I would choose this one, I think. And then now we're moving on into the washroom. I keep it pretty simple. I was actually really excited that I had room for a tub in this washroom, so I decided to utilize that, but I know showers are a lot nicer gameplay wise, so feel free to switch that up if you do download this build. And then I just add the cheapest toilet and cheapest sink and just clutter it up a little bit. And now I'm moving on into the second last villa. For the kitchen here, I decide to go with some solid white cabinets from Dream Home Decorator, and I wanted to bring the teal from the outside of this villa into the interior. So I played around a little bit with backsplashes, and in the end I decided to go with this base game one in this beautiful sort of turquoise color, and I think it turns out quite nicely. I also really liked the look of this built-in stove and oven from Dream Home Decorator, and some more modern appliances. I even hang some frying pans up on the wall because I kind of thought it added to that more modern vibe. And please let me know in the comments below any feedback you have. Let me know which one of these villas is your favorite, and I'd love to hear some feedback. Also, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe if this is your cup of tea and you want to see more videos like this. This channel is relatively new. I started uploading regularly just this January. I made a New Year's resolution that I would upload one video a week all year, and I've kept up with that more or less the best I could. I am in school, so I'll give myself a little bit of leeway, but it has been so much fun. I've just enjoyed building silly little things and making a few friends online. So yeah, if you're thinking of doing something like this, I definitely recommend it. It is just like a fun little creative outlet, and I've just enjoyed it so much. Anyway, back to the build. I actually did make one kind of pretty big mistake in this build. You see that ladder there? I am an idiot, and I didn't realize that your Sims couldn't get out of the back of the ladder. They had to get out on the side, which looking back seems very obvious to me, but I clearly did not realize that because I blocked off either side. So when I was playtesting this, my Sim could not get out of the ladder. They could not access the second or third floors, so I had to switch up the decoration. The top floor is mostly the same, but this middle floor is very, very different. Your Sims have to get out of the ladder right where that sofa is. So I moved the sofa to where the piano is right now, and I actually had to delete the piano. Everything else there was still room for, but the floor plan is slightly different and the piano is missing. So that's my bad. I'm so sorry about that, but I did make sure that everything was functional and good before uploading it to the gallery. Anyway, I've begun now decorating the top floor, which stayed relatively the same. Not much had to change. I love the way that this bedroom area turned out. I love the artwork that I chose, those beautiful paintings from Tiny Living, as well as that sort of graffiti style wall art. I think that they went together quite nicely. And now I am moving on to the last villa. This is another family home, and it actually houses the most Sims at once of any of these homes. I believe you can have up to 5 Sims living here, 2 parents and 3 kids. I even had room for a piano and a shower tub combo, so I'm pretty proud of myself for making that fit. This villa definitely had the most efficient use of space. Speaking of which, I will soon switch up the layout of this kitchen to make it slightly more efficient. I put some of the counters underneath of the open staircase to utilize that space that was otherwise pretty much useless. So it becomes almost a galley kitchen with a door in the center leading to one of the children's bedrooms. As you can see, I've gone with the parenthood counters and cabinets. I did decide to add cabinets to this one just because I figured there was enough space, and I sized them down so they wouldn't look so big and clunky. And I do like the way that it turned out. I even had room for a little sitting area over here, which I made fun and colorful with this university rug and this Tiny Living sofa. Actually, I don't know where that sofa is from, but it fit the space really nicely, I thought. I add a calendar and some cute clutter here on the wall before moving on into the first bedroom. So this bedroom I thought would be for a toddler, but you could always add a full bed in here, even bunk beds if you wanted to have even more Sims living in this tiny space. It'd probably get crowded if you did, but you're certainly welcome to do so. And I really went with a fun pink color scheme in here, you know, all things fun like that. Cupcakes, unicorns, there's a castle, dollhouse, so a lot of that fun stuff. And then moving on upstairs, I add another bedroom, which will have bunk beds in it. There you go. And I decided to go once again with a very pink color scheme, pink and blue. The color scheme for this room really kind of just came together on its own. There were so many cute swatches that fit here. I added that cute little llama statue from Dream Home Decorator in this pale pink swatch that I didn't know that we had. I add a pink corkboard, a pink mirror. It all just came together quite nicely. And then on this landing, I add some skill building items, including an easel, and I even sneak a little keyboard under the stairs here. And then I move on upstairs. So on this third floor, there will be a washroom that has a shower tub combo, you know, toilet sink, all that good shower stuff. And there will even be space for a trundle bed? What are those called? Rundle bed. Couch bed. Sofa bed? Murphy bed. There's room for a Murphy bed here. So the parents unfortunately don't have their own bedroom, but at least they have somewhere to sleep, and then they can use this as sort of a second gathering area during the day. And I wanted to have a sort of built-in look with this shelving, so I added some modular shelving, some hung up clothing and clutter to sort of give a built-in look here. And I even tuck some toys away because when you have kids, I imagine there are toys all over your house. And a little television, even though there's already a television downstairs, I figured I would give the parents a nice television to make up for the fact that they do not have an actual bedroom. And then here I am working on the last little details of the exterior. I use these beautiful stone fences from the debug menu to section off a little courtyard area in the back where I add a bunch of little fun activities. I add a couple of benches and a grill. I know Sims love to grill. I also add a basketball hoop and some communal laundry out here. I also decided that I wanted to make a sort of makeshift bike rack using some debug items. I kind of fashioned them to look like a bike rack and add some cute bikes so that your Sims can have those and they just look really cute. And then I move into these little alleyways underneath the villas. I add some benches, some lights, some chess tables, and just little things there so your Sims can have some extra space to do activities. But yeah, that is pretty much it for this build. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day. Love you, bye! Blah.